Hello everyone, welcome back to another SATs preparation video. In this video, we're going to show you how to get those 2 or 3 mark reasoning questions right every time and let you in on a little secret. So let's dive straight in. In the SATs paper for reasoning, you'll be given lots of different question types. Most of them are worth 1 mark, but a lot of them are worth 2 or 3. Now, before we dive in to the bulk of these 2 mark questions, sometimes 3, like I've said, watch to the end for the 3 marker. There are other question types that are worth 2 marks. So I want to show you them ones first. These 2 mark questions often look like this. So they are where you have more than one answer to fill in. Let's look at the first one. The numbers in the sequence increase by 45 each time. Write the missing numbers. You've got 1, 2, 3 boxes, and they give you a total of 2 marks. The first thing to say is, guys, always check how many marks each question is worth before you answer it, because that will dictate what you need to do. In this example, it's worth 2 marks. You might be thinking, there are 3 spaces. Why on earth is it worth 2 marks? Well, that's because in these examples, it's going to give you a little bit of leeway. So for example, increase by 45 each time. Let's say we add on 45 correctly here. We get 290, and we subtract 45 correctly here. Let's say 110, but then when we're adding past maybe the hundreds, going past 300, we get a bit confused and we put 345. Now, when this paper is marked, this is what will happen. Got this one correct? Nice. Got this one correct? Cool. Got this one wrong. So out of 2 marks, how many marks do you think you'd get? You'd be right if you say 1. The only way you can get full marks on the 2 mark question is if you get the answer correct, and that includes all of them in these types of questions. So in this case, you got 1 mark out of 2. If you'd got the final one correct, you would have got 2 marks. And here's the tricky thing. If, for example, instead of 110, we put 100 and we got 2 of them wrong, so we got 1 right, guess how many marks we'll get? 0. And in these cases, you'll usually find that you need to get over half of the answers correct to even get 1 mark. So for example, down here again, another question where you have 3 boxes to fill in. So you can probably tell me right now, how many do you need to get correct to get 1 mark? That's right, you need to get at least 2. So get 2 out of 3 correct, they'll give you a mark. Get all of them correct, and you'll get 2 marks. So even if you can round to the nearest 10,000 perfectly, and in here you write down 40,000 and you're feeling on top of the world, yep, okay, cool, at least I'm going to get 1 mark because I'm going to move on now. No, you're not. You know that you're going to have to get at least 2 right. So if you're guessing, stressing, putting down answers quickly at the end, just know that you're guaranteed to get 0 marks if you just put 1 option down in a question like this. So if I submitted that as my paper, I'd get 0. So that's really important to note. There are different types of 2 mark questions. These ones are where you have multiple answers to fill in boxes. You know you're going to have to fill in over half of them to even get a mark, but of course you're always aiming for 2 marks out of 2. Now, the usual 2 mark questions look more like this. I just want to take a minute to talk about this box. This is the arch nemesis of many children taking their year 6 SATs, because they see this here, show your method, and they think, me? I don't need to show my method. Oh my, I can't explain how much to you guys that I need you to write in this box, okay? It says show your method for a reason. It's not just being annoying. It's not just trying to tell you what to do. Go and clean your room. And by the way, whilst you're there, show your method. Really annoying, right? It wants you to show your method for a reason. I'm about to tell you that reason now. But firstly, I'm going to model answering this question. Feel free to pause the video and have a go if you want to, but I'm going to dive straight in. Ken is playing a game. He has 4,289 points. Then he scores another 355 points. Ken's target is 6,000 points. How many more points does Ken need to reach his target? First thing to say, pretty obvious. If it's a 2 mark question, you're going to have a minimum of 2 steps. So there is more than 1 calculation we have to do here. Now, here's what's really interesting. So this question has 2 steps. Firstly, we need to take Ken's original score of 4,289. And we're going to add on the 355 extra that he scored. Now, the first thing to say is in these reasoning questions, you need to interpret these questions. This sentence here, then he scores another. It's about you knowing that another lot of points is going to increase his tally. We're going to add it on. So you have to do the reasoning here to figure out we're adding. So we're going to add these 2 numbers together. 9 plus 5 is 14. Nearly said 4. 8 plus 5 is 13. Plus the 1 is 14 again. Then we have 2 plus 3 plus 1 is 6. And finally, 4 on its own comes down to 4,644. That is the first step. I like to draw a line sometimes in the box. I know that's my first step because it's a 2-mark question. I cannot stop there. I'm going to just pause for a minute because this is something really interesting. I'm just going to write a 2 here, and I've got a question for you. This here is correct. Okay, 4,289 at 355 is indeed 4,644. How many marks do you think you'd get out of 2 if you just stopped right there? Which a lot of children do. They just stop there and they go, okay, look, I've done part of it. I might get a mark. I'll just move on. How many marks do you think you'll get? 1? No. You will get 0 because of how the mark scheme works. This is vital, guys. You need to know this. Just rushing through and putting 1, hoping you'll get 1 mark because you're not sure what to do next, will always get you 0 marks. This is not the final answer, and you have not shown a full method. The only way that we get 1 mark in these 2-mark questions when we show our working out is if you show evidence of doing the full method of every single step, but you make 1 maths error. We call it an arithmetic error. So maybe you do 9 plus 5 is 15 by accident. But if you show the right method all the way through, that's how you get a mark. That's why these questions say show your method. They're not trying to be annoying. They're trying to get you a mark. So we have to do every single step to even get a chance of 1 mark. So let's see the next step here. Ken is on 4,644. He's trying to get up to 6,000, so we need to find the difference. So what we'd be doing here is 6,000 subtract 4,644. Now, guys, this is not the video for me to be explaining to you the 6 different methods to do this, because you can count on, you can jump forward, you can take 1 off 6,000 and take 1 off 4,644 to conserve the number. I don't really mind how you do this. Lots of people get used to just doing this exchange. It can be quite inefficient, but some people are comfortable doing it. So 10 take away 4 is 6, 9 take away 4 is 5, 9 take 6 is 3, 5 take 4 is 1, 1,356, and you'll go from 0 to 2 marks straight away. Now, as I said before, if, for example, you did this subtraction wrong and you got the wrong answer, you made 1 arithmetic error, then you'll get 1 mark instead. Because that 1 mark is not for doing half the question, it's for showing a full understanding of the question. Okay, so you showed me a full understanding of both steps, addition and subtraction. You put the right numbers in, you just made a silly little mistake somewhere. That's the only way you get 1 mark. I do have a bit of a secret though. So let's look at another one here. And this secret, it's valuable information. I don't want you to misuse this information, okay? So you promise me you're going to show your method still. There is another way to get 2 marks in these questions. That is if you have the right answer in this box. So that supersedes everything, okay? It's more important than any other advice that I give you. If the right answer is in this box, you will get 2 marks. So that's the first thing the markers will look at. Is the right answer in this box? Yep, cool, 2. They won't even look at this working out. The reason it says show your method is really clear because it gives you an opportunity to get 1 mark. So therefore, please, 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 show your method. Again, at any point, guys, feel free to pause the video and have a go at these questions. But here's another example. John buys 1 toy car and 1 pack of stickers. He pays with a £10 note. How much change will John get? Again, this is a 2-mark question, so we know there's more than 1 step. I'm going to split my box in half. And the first step is to figure out how much did he pay in total. He got 1 car and 1 pack of stickers. So quite simply, we need to put £1.49 in the box. And we need to add on £1.64, just like this. Find the total. 13, 4 plus 6 plus 1, that's going to get us to 11. And then finally, we've got 3. So we've got £313. Have we? No, remember your decimal. Bring the decimal down. That's vital. If you miss a decimal in this box, there's no way you can get 2 marks. Okay, you cannot get 2 marks. So that's the first step. If I stop there, how many marks will I get? I'll get 1, right? No, because I've not shown a full method of the question, because then it says here he pays with a £10 note. How much change will John get? So we need to find the difference between £10 and £3.13. Again, guys, lots of ways to do this. You might like using a number line. Because it says show my working out, and because I'm confident using this method, I'm going to just use exchange, just like this. So I'm going to exchange through all of these values, have 9 there and 1 there. 10 take 3 is 7, 9 take 1 is 8. Put the decimal down. 9 take away 3 is 6. The answer is 6.87, right? Wrong! Another chance to mess up. We need to put the pound symbol in. £6.87. The decimal has to go in, the pound symbol has to go in. These are vital, and these are ways they're trying to trick you into writing down a number that does not make sense. If they see £6.87 or 687 pence in that box, you'll get 2 marks. Anything different, they're going to be looking to take marks off you, okay? So show your method, write the answer clearly in the box, make sure you remember everything, symbols, decimals, the whole lot. Here's another one. Jack chose a number. He multiplied the number by 7, then he added 85. His answer was 953. What number did Jack choose? Now, I wanted to show you this because this is like an inverse machine. We start with a number, and you guys might really like doing it like this. They multiply the number by 7, and we get something else. And then, so that's that bit, and then we add 85, and we get something else. And actually, we know the answer. It's 953. You guys might like to do that to visualize this question. And guys, I promise you, visualizing stuff, writing down, drawing pictures is an amazing way to visualize these tricky problem solving questions. They're going to help you figure out what to do in terms of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. But this isn't really working out. So you can do these pictures as much as you want. You can draw them. You can draw in the blank space around the question. But in these squares, we need your working out. So because we're using the inverse, we're going to do the opposite. So 953 is what we ended up with. We want to go backwards now. So instead of adding 85, we're going to take that 85 off. And we get 953 take away 85. It's just classic, easy maths here, guys, that you can all do. 4 take away 8 we can't do, so we exchange again. And we get 14 take away 8 is 6. Bring down the 8. 868, 0 marks if we stop there because we've not done the full method. The last thing next to do then is the inverse of multiply by 7. We're going to take 8, 6, 8, and we're going to do short division to divide by 7. How many 7s and 8 is 1 with 1 left over. 7s into 16 is 2 with 2 left over. 7s into 28 is 4. The number we started with is 124. Now, my next bit of advice. If you didn't write anything in the box here, but you have evidence of the right answer, you can sometimes still get the 2 marks. But here's the problem with that. You're down to the whim of whoever is marking the paper. Guys, make it really clear. Use the box. Put your final answer in the box and copy the number correctly. It is devastating. We have the right answer here, 124. We go to the box and for some reason we write 134. If you do that, no matter what you've shown here, you're opening the door to get only 1 mark because you've done the right method, but in this box you've submitted the wrong answer. Be really careful. You have to copy your answer down super, super clearly. So we've done that question. We're going to do this one now. What we're noticing is it's getting trickier and trickier and trickier, but it's still worth 2 marks. So we still know we have more than one thing to do. I want you to have a go at this question, so feel free to pause this video and have a go. I'm going to show you exactly what to do afterwards with the same kind of idea. So we're really diving into tricky 2-mark questions now. We know our technique. Why don't you have a go? If you've had a go, you've paused the video, I'm sure you're back now. So Amina made this cuboid using centimeter cubes. Not actual size, it never really is, guys, unless it tells you you're measuring with a ruler. If it says not to actual size or it says not to scale, don't use a ruler, please. It's all about calculation. Stefan makes a cuboid that is 5 centimeters longer, taller, and wider than Amina's cuboid. So again, I've told you drawing things is really helpful. I'm actually going to draw a cuboid because then I can label the measurements for Stefan's. So it's 5 centimeters longer. I'm going to take 6 as the length. So 5 centimeters longer than 6 is 11 centimeters. Then taller, hers was 4. 5 centimeters taller is going to be 9 cm. And then finally, 5 centimeters wider, it was 3, plus 5 again, that's going to be 8 cm. Now let's look at the question. What is the difference between the number of cubes in Amina's and Stefan's cuboids? Now the thing to notice here that these are 1 centimeter cubes. So that is the same as asking what's the difference in the volume. Okay, so we need to do multiple steps here. The first step was to figure out what Stefan's cuboid looked like. Okay, it's 9 by 11 by 8. So what is the difference between the number of cubes in Amina's and Stefan's cuboids? First thing, we need to know how many cubes are in Amina's and how many cubes are in Stefan's. In Amina's, we have 6 by 4 by 3. So we have 6 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3. 6 times 4 is 24. Multiplied by 3 is going to give us 72. So that's 72 there in Amina's. So I'm going to write an A. Then Stefan's over here, we have 8 times 11 times 9. Now there's no easy way to do this. So what I'm going to do is 9 times 11 first is 99. And I'm going to multiply that by 8. Then I can use short multiplication. 9 times 8 is 72. And 9 times 8 is 72. So we add another 72 on. That's going to be a 9 there with a 7. So there are 792 cubes in Stefan's. I keep saying the names wrong. There are 792 cubes in Stefan's cuboid and 72 cubes in Amina's. So is that the end of the question? If we stop there, would we get 2 marks? Would we get 1 mark? The answer is no. We'd get nothing after all that amazing maths because we haven't completed the method. We need to find the difference between the number of cubes. So we take 792. You'll be in the cubes, obviously. You'll be writing this in the squares really neatly, obviously. Take away 72. 2 take away 2 is 0. 9 take away 7 is 2. 7 comes down. The answer is 720 cubes is the difference. Now that just shows, doesn't it, how working in 3 dimensions with volume can be like, whoa, that's quite shocking. It is so much bigger. It is 720 cubes bigger. That's crazy. So really important though. That felt like 3 steps, didn't it? We had to calculate the size of Amina's cube. Then we had to calculate the size of Stefan's cube. That felt like 2 steps. It wasn't. So that's the next point I want to make to you guys. Don't just think because you've done 2 things, you've finished. It needs to show the whole method. Okay, those 2 marks aren't necessarily for 2 steps. 1 mark is for showing your method all the way through. Another mark is for showing that you've got the right answer at the end, okay? So they're the 2 options. It doesn't necessarily mean you only do exactly 2 things, as we've just proven with that question there. So this is another tricky one. So what I want you to do is, again, I really think it's a good idea for you to have a go, especially if you're practicing. I want you to have a go at this question. So pause the video right now. You can have a go yourself. You can interrupt me. You can stop me. Press pause. Make me stop talking. And then come back and have a go because I'm going to dive in now. These 2 shapes are the same perimeter. Again, always look 2 marks. Does it mean 2 actual things? Sometimes, but sometimes more than 2 steps. We know we have to show all of our method. They have the same perimeter. A square, we know, have the same length sides, and regular means that the sides are the same length as well. So we need to know those terminologies. The length of each side of the hexagon is 8 centimeters. So we know that each of these sides is 8. 8, 8, 8, 8, and 8. Because it's regular, each side's the same length. Calculate the area of the square. What on earth? We're given something to do with the hexagon. We need to work backwards. Okay, so how do we work out the area of a square? Well, we need to know what one side of the square is multiplied by the height of the square. Luckily for us, we know when it's a square. These are the same number. How on earth can I work out what the side of the square is? What is the length of the side of the square? Well, we go back to the first sentence. These 2 shapes have the same perimeter. So let's work out the perimeter of the hexagon. The hexagon perimeter, I'll call it HP, is 8 times 6 because there are 6 sides of 8 length each. That is 48 centimeters. So this is all well and good up here, but write it in your box as well. We're going to do 8 multiplied by 6 equals 48. Now we know that the perimeter of the hexagon is 48. We also know the perimeter of the square is 48 centimeters. So what can we do to figure out the length of one side? Well, we're going to do 48 divided by 4. That means each side is 12. You can use your times table knowledge for that question. So each side of the square is 12 centimeters. Now we finished because we've done 2 things. No, of course we're not. We need to keep going. So to find the area of the square, we're going to take 12 centimeters multiplied by 12. This is all times tables. We can write the answer straight in, but remember, what are the units we're using? Centimeters. Now, it's the area, so it's not just centimeters, it's centimeters squared. All of these things are vital. They are really important because we need to show that we understand exactly what we're doing. We're not just doing a length, we're doing an area. So putting all this in the box will just minimize any chance the marker has to go, oh, that's going to be your dropped mark, I'm afraid. Show every single step of your working out, check for units, and make sure they're correct, okay? I know yesterday Hayden did a video where he talked about checking. It's a brilliant video. Go and check it out because it's really important. Checking is not just looking, oh, I've written a lovely number in the box. Aren't I good? Let's check the next one. No. Check properly. Look for units. Do the question again. Make sure that you've given the best account for the answer that you possibly can. Last 2 mark question here. Again, pause the video, have a go. I'm just going to go through it now because this is a classic question I wanted to put in here because it's between litres and millilitres. It's a tricky one. A machine pours 250 millilitres of juice every 4 seconds. How many litres of juice, so they've changed millilitres to litres, does the machine pour every minute? It's changed seconds to minute. So here's our job. If we know 4 seconds is equal to 250 mil, then how many seconds are in a minute? So we need to change that. We need to know this fact. It's 60 seconds. So 60 seconds, we're basically asking how many mil will be poured out in 60 seconds. So this is a scaling question. How do we get from 4 to 60? 4 multiplied by what is 60? So the way you can do this is, if you wanted to show you're working out properly, is 60 divided by 4, and we get 15. So we know we're making this 15 times longer. It's not 4 seconds, it's 60 seconds. So we need to do the same over here. We need to multiply 250 milliliters by 15. Now there's a number of ways we can do this. We could change it into liters straight away. So we could put 0.25. I'm going to keep it as it is. So I'm going to do 250 multiplied by 15. This is just going to be a long multiplication question. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 5s are 25. With the 2, 5 times 2 is 10. Plus the 2 is 12. Then hold the place here. One lot of the rest is 0, 5, and 2. So we've got here in total 0, 5 in the tens, 7, and 3. 3,750 mil. So we put down in here 3,750 mil. No! You've not shown a full and complete method, because part of the question is understanding that you have to convert this to liters. The question says how many liters. So 3,750 converted into liters is 3.75 liters. That is vital. Now, I did tease at the start, didn't I? We've got one more slide left, because we've talked a lot about 2-mark questions, but I just wanted to show you that there is such a thing as a 3-mark question. So this is a 3-mark question, which means you know for a fact there's going to be lots to do. I want you to have a go. The reason why they give some questions 3 is because there are just so many steps, so many chances to go wrong. What I want you to do is show me that you can do it. So pause the video, have a go. I'm going to assume you've done that, and I'm going to dive straight in. So Layla makes jewelry to sell at a school fair. Each bracelet has 53 beads, and she makes 68 bracelets. Nice, that's a lot of beads. Each necklace has 105 beads, and she makes 34 necklaces. My goodness. You guessed it. How many beads does Layla make altogether? This is designed to test your limits of the arithmetic and getting questions correct as much as possible. So let's start with the bracelets. Each bracelet has 53 beads, and she makes 68 bracelets. That is 53 multiplied by 68. So it's having a mastery here of long multiplication. We're going to times by 8 at the top. 8 3s are 24, and 8 5s are 40. Plus the 2 is going to give us 42. Then we put a placeholder for the 60, because that's what this line is, multiplied by 60. 6 3s are 18, and 6 5s are 30, with the 1 exchanged over. So there are 4, 10 in the tens column, exchange over, 6 and 3, 3,604 beads in the bracelets. But we're not even halfway done. Next, we need to go to 105 multiplied, because there are 105 beads in 34 necklaces. So multiply these together now. I'm going to multiply the top by 4. 4 5s are 20. 4 zeros are just 0, so put the 2 in. 4 1s are 4, so that's 420. Put the placeholder in for multiply by 30. My goodness, this is a long-winded question. 3 5s are 15. 3 times 0 is nothing, so put the 1 straight in. 3 times 1 is 3. 3,150. So now let's find the total amount of beads in the necklaces, and we have in total 3,570. Yes, we're there, we're nearly finished. Even after these 2 really long-winded steps, this is why it's given us a 3-mark question. We've got one more step to do. How many beads does Lucy use altogether? So then we have to take 3,570 plus 3,604 and find the total. And now we have 4, 7, 11, I'm getting excited, and 7,174 beads. Whew. That's why it's a 3-mark question. You have so many chances to go wrong. Okay, so many chances to go wrong. I'm going to read you the mark scheme very quickly. Award 3 marks if they see this answer. Simple as that. If you just guessed and put 7174 and you put it in the box and for some reason you got it right, you'd get 3 marks, even if you did no working out. Do we advise that? Please don't do that. You get, if the answer is incorrect, you get 2 marks this time for doing the right method but making 1 error. So it's the same as the 2 markers from before, just we've shifted it up 1 place. So you might be thinking, okay, well, how do you get just 1 mark? Well, award 1 mark for evidence of an appropriate method, so you do all of this correctly, but there's more than one arithmetic error. So if you show the right method, and it doesn't matter how many maths mistakes you make, you'll get 1 mark. If you show the right method, but just make 1 maths mistake, you'll get 2 marks. If you get the right answer, no matter how, whether you're showing the right method or just guessing, you're going to get 3 marks. So you can see here how these are really designed to trick you, to trap you. But I really hope that my little walkthrough here has helped you guys get ready and prepare to get as many marks as possible. Now you know how they work. Remember, 2-mark questions. You have to do every single step to get 1 mark. Okay, that's as simple as that. If you see a box that says show you're working out, guess what I'm going to say, guys? Show you're working out. See you soon.